Hey, y'all, welcome to Team Hotel TV, where we have the conference championships, the Hall of Fame game, and the alumni game coming up this Saturday. But first, we're going to get into those first conference championships games where we have, at 1 o'clock, we have the Colts versus Pac-9. And what are we going to do with that, Chris?
Oh, man, that Colts game was exciting this past week. I mean, the Pac-9, they took care of business pretty easily. The Colts, I mean, unbelievable how they beat the undefeated team. We've seen that historically, though. A lot of teams I've seen over the years, the number 1 seed, number 2 seed drop. I don't know if I've ever seen the number 1 and 2 drop in the same week. So, I mean, everybody was thinking it's going to be Seahawks and Cowboys. Both of them are sitting at home. At least they get to play in the Rising Stars game. The Colts and the Pack, they both started the season 3-0. They both became top Elite Four teams immediately. Since that time, though, since their 3-0 start, the Colts have went 1-4. The Pack have gone 3-2. So they're not. I mean, they've been there. They've played strong, but they haven't been unbeatable. This season, so far, the last time they played each other, the Packs beat them 32-0. They shut them down, shut them out, and this and that. And so far, the Packers, they've scored 315 points this year, one of the highest in the leagues, and they've only allowed 158, whereas the Colts have scored 238, which is pretty impressive, and have given up 207. When I look at this matchup, I think the Colts had their Urban Bowl last week. I've seen it before. When people put that much heart into it and they win that big of a game, it's hard to bounce back. They had their Urban Bowl. They should be excited for a win. They haven't won like that in a couple years. I think Jose gave them a jolt. They went 2 or 3 games without Jose. So all of a sudden he comes in at quarterback. They look different. And then they get Nnamdi second half. There's another jolt that they got. Well, this week there's no jolts. I mean, they're prepared for this dude. They know he's coming. Pack's one of the most prepared teams in the league, and I think it's a time for the Pack to step up. I think Packers win this one 32-26.
Wow, Chris, 32-26.
Yep.
Wow. So we're going to go right into my new panelist, and I'm surprised because he's a Cowboy coach. The head coach apparently.
What happened?
Yeah, he just disappeared
Is he
after
okay?
that loss. I mean,
He's all right.
Yeah?
He's all right. He's recovering right now.
Where's he recovering from?
He's in recovery?
Yes.
Where is it? Betty Ford Clinic.
We don't. He doesn't lose a lot, so you know. He took this loss.
He ain't cut his wrist, did he?
No, he didn't. He'll be back next year.
All right, Alex. So give us your pick.
Chris was speaking about jolt. Another word for jolt is momentum, and the Colts have momentum after beating the 8-0 Cowboys. But can they turn that momentum into redemption? If I can recall, Packers beat them 25-0.
Look at me.
And it's time for Jose to ride that momentum, to ride that wave, and overcome this Pac-9 team and have his redemption moment. But Shane knows that it's his time now. This is destiny for Shane. This is last year, his last rodeo. And I think Shane will not let that happen. So I predict the Pac-9 to win 30-25.
Wow, 30-25. Another one-score prediction from my panelists. And I'm going to bring in a Hall of Fame coach from the Packers, who is now just part of the Team Hotel staff. Buddy, what do you got?
That's right. It has no affiliation with the Packers at all. I'm a neutral body. In this game, I mean, look at the regular season. You see neutral. You look at the regular season. You see the way they kind of matched up. You know, after talking to some of the Colts players, they said they didn't come prepared for that game. They didn't really take them serious. They didn't really stretch. They just kind of riding their talent all year long. Before that Cowboys win, their win before that came like 4 weeks ago against the Bengals, and so they were accustomed to losing. So going into this game, you just kind of felt like if they fell behind, that they could not come back. But what the Colts showed this week is they're resilient. You know what I mean? They didn't fall apart. That was something I questioned from the beginning of the year. I knew they had a very talented roster and enough talent to go and compete for an Urban Bowl, but I just thought mentally, did they have what it takes to go? And they proved it this week that they are the real deal. These two teams right now might be the 2 best teams left in the league. You know, and they're battling out to get to the Urban Bowl. I talked to the coach. They're hungry. They want to go. You know, Esky wants to go. They really wish they could play the Pac-9 in the championship. So they're kind of treating this as a championship game for them, knowing that they might be the favorites to kind of go.
As they should.
Absolutely.
And they play like a 4th-ranked team rather than the 8th-ranked team.
Absolutely, yeah. But they don't have they have a high rank on offensive players. They don't have an 8th ranked team with the talent that they have. In this game, I mean, you look at the matchups. I mean, you got Esky, you got going against Ryan, and you got Jeremy and Namdi. You got Bello going against Jose. And the last time Bello, I think that pressure really. Jose never seen that before in any, I think, team that he played, and I think he's going to be better prepared for it this next time coming in. Khalif had a homecoming of some sorts last week. I think he had 4 interceptions.
Did he come out?
He came out, bro. I mean, he saved his best game that I've ever seen. I mean, he clearly changed the momentum. He clearly changed the momentum of that game, and I think he's hungry to kind of do the same thing next week. In this game, I think you guys got it right. It's going to be a 6-point game. I think it's going to be close. But I think this is where the Colts are going to struggle. It's not talent. Not going to do momentum or anything like that. It's the coaching. I think the coaching, I think Dave has a better feel for the game and situational, and he can think better under pressure. There was a play in that last game against the Colts where the Colts went for the conversion after already being up by 2 points. And so that if they did score the conversion, put them up 3, but it didn't mean anything because they could have tied the game, the Cowboys, if they would have intercepted that thing. A veteran coaching staff would have not gone for that. Right. They would have kneeled the ball. Right. They would have done whatever they can for them not to put themselves in a position to lose the game. And then I think that would have left you anyway with 8 seconds, maybe 1 or 2 plays at the end of the game. So I think so that's where I got the advantage. I got the advantage going with the Pac-9. I think roster-wise, both of them are very talented. But I think coaching-wise, I think Dave helped take this team to another level. And I think, the coach, even though they're a good coaching staff, they're still figuring it out. And I'm going with the Packers winning this one. But I got a close game, too. I'm going 36-30.
Wow, 36-30. And all 3 of my panelists picked close games. But I think also that it's clear to see that Jose only throws at 2 players. And
Esky and Namdi.
Esky and Namdi. And I think if the Packers shut down Esky and Namdi, they got the game in the
Well, who do
bag.
you guys think, real quick?
Real quick, you said Pello versus Jose.
Right.
I think when Jose had his time off, he took salsa classes.
You think so?
Yeah, because
Was
when
it
we
last
rushed him, he showed moves out of the pocket,
all right.
and he finally went left. He wasn't going left. So I think Bello now has to understand that Jose has gotten better, and he will show moves. It won't be just a straight sack.
So you think Jose now said, wait a minute, everybody thought they had me just by going right.
I think he
Now
understood on his
I have
time
to go
off. I
left.
think he understood he needed to develop
Was he
certain
going to
skills.
clinics or something on his time off?
It was a
What
salsa
it?
class. You know, he
Yeah,
had
that's all it
the
was.
hips going.
Wow.
He probably learned that from
Baseball.
Sumo. Sumo, the big dancer.
That's right. Yeah.
And so who do you guys think is
Colts
going to
are
be
definitely better dancers
Absolutely.
than the Pac-9.
Well, I don't know. You got Sheen Daddy, you know what I mean? He can dance. I
You
mean,
got crooked legs. I don't know.
yeah, you got
Funny
Sheen
looking.
can dance.
What about that kid that does the broken leg? What's his name?
Kashin?
Yeah,
He can dance, man. He's been teaching all the Pac-9 how to kind
Like
of
he got to
move.
go to the bathroom.
Well, it does kind of look like that. But real quick, who do you guys think is going to be your impact player of the game? Who do you guys think is going to be the one that kind of...
I think it's going to be Pello and Shane. I mean, I think of both sides of the ball. I think Pello, man, I was looking at his stats today. They're crazy. I mean, he's one of the most improved players from last year to this year to see the kind of impact he has. And this little kid just running in there and doing all this stuff, it's insane. I think he could be an impact player that we're not expecting this week.
I didn't watch the Lions game, obviously, because we were playing at the same time. But I think somebody needs to be an impact player when they play, and I think it's Ryan. Ryan's been absent the last couple games. I think Ryan needs to show up, and he claims to be a big player. He needs to be a big player when they play.
Yeah. Well, since you asked the question, I think Sumo is going to have to step up on defense and play the lights out type of linebacker that he's been playing all season long. If he doesn't play that position the way he's supposed to play, Shane's just going to pick him apart.
Yep.
He's got to step it up. He's got to be the leader that he was. I mean, he owned up to some mistakes that he made, and he's come back. And he's come back with a force. So I think Sumo's going to be my.
I think Sumo needs to stop dancing and develop, and I think he needs to understand that sometimes he has to play the look away pass. You know, Shane can kill you with the look away pass. So if he understands that, then
over pursuing.
Well,
Yes.
well, I think Sumo, he with his wingspan makes up for that when he gets into that type of trouble. I've seen him go one way and then come back another really quick because of his wingspan. So I think that's going to help him out a lot.
I think you guys nailed it. I know what Sumo. I know his aunt's coming to the game this week, and he usually plays really tough when his aunt comes. I'm looking forward to seeing her. I haven't seen her in a little while, so it'll be interesting to see how he produces with his aunt there. Yeah.
Who's your impact player?
Oh, my impact player. I was gonna say Sumo too, but I guess I'm gonna have to go with I think Namdi. I think a lot of people underestimate Namdi. And I think with a lot of attention going to Eski, Namdi's been having just a phenomenal year just as well.
I'll tell you who the impact person of the week will be, though. Percy. He was on the Colts sideline. It seems like no matter what sideline this dude stands on, they always win.
That's true.
Well,
You ever notice that?
He never stood on our sideline. We won 8 games.
That's what I'm saying, but he knew. And he was on the sideline of the Colts. And usually he's a front runner, but he stood on the sideline of the Colts. So this week, just watch and see where Percy's standing, because that's who's going to win the game.
Percy just doesn't like
Good
us.
point,
Doesn't
Chris.
matter. I'm just saying. It's
us.
weird.
No
It's weird.
Cowboys.
He's
point.
always on the winning side.
Good point, Chris. All right, so we're going to head right into that 2:30 game where we got my Panthers versus the Raiders.
Yeah, these guys actually met up preseason. And the Panthers beat them 24-20, but both of these teams are radically different than they were preseason. Radically different. The first 2 weeks, these two teams were atrocious. The Panthers had only scored 6 points the first 2 weeks and gave up 92 points. That's crazy. The Raiders only scored 31 points, and they also gave up 92 points. I mean, it's incredible how poor they were. But since that time, since after those 2 weeks, the Panthers are now 5-1.
Okay.
The Raiders went 4-2. The Panthers, from that time on, scored 146 points, gave up 125. Still the lowest output in the playoffs. But the Raiders, they scored 188, gave up 146. So the Panthers have a better defense than the Raiders. And in fact, the Raiders had a better defense than the Cardinals last week, and the Panthers were able to score 30 points or nearly 30 points and get that victory. I think the Panthers, when I look at this, see the Raiders, one thing that they have is coaching. They have Urban Bowl coaching, and no one else in the league right now has Urban Bowl coaching.
That is
I mean,
true.
they have experience.
That is true.
And I said from the beginning, somehow, some way, the Raiders or the Colts or the Eagles, well, the Eagles aren't here anymore, and the Raiders are going to be here, and the Raiders are here in the mix. I don't know how they do it. Every year they seem, it doesn't matter how good or how bad they are, they find a way to get in. And I think a big part of that is that coaching staff. And the way they're come together this year, they're incredible. But I think they have, even though they have Andrew and they have that coaching staff, the Panthers have each other. I don't understand. I'm looking at these are the coolest cats I've seen in a while. Usually we're so hyped up for games beforehand. We're there an hour, 2 hours ahead of time. These guys are there 45 minutes ahead of time. Oh, who are we playing today? Real cool. Next. And they're playing, and they're somehow scoring. And their defense is great. And I think it's going to be spearheaded by Josh and Miles. I think they're going to play lights out this week. And I think the Panthers are going to somehow, I don't know how, squeak it out 26-25.
Ooh.
Yep.
1 point game?
A 1 point game.
All right, we have the Raiders, who also is riding momentum there, and I think the Raiders have a better quarterback.
Cool.
I do. Now, I think it's going to come down to this: will his receivers catch the ball? That's always been the difference from their wins and their loss. The Raiders, will their receivers catch the ball? He likes going in number 8. I don't know his name, but
Edwin.
If Edwin doesn't catch the ball, it seems like everyone else is body catching and missing it. So I think if the Raiders receivers catch the ball, they'll win this game by 2. No, they'll win this game 35-25.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. I think at one time once we saw Andrew and kind of what he was doing, we were just saying, okay, this team has what it takes to compete to get into an Urban Bowl. Then they went against Urban Bowl contenders and they got fried. You know what I mean? And we're just like, wow, the receivers were just definitely missing catches. I mean, when you look at their statistics, you see that Edwin, he leads their team with 8 touchdown passes. They have no one on their team that has double-digit passes. The next person is Kahari, who has 7. So it seems like, yeah, he has 41 receptions. Yeah, Edwin has 41 receptions. He's been playing lights out, but you said that they need more than one person. It's not enough. But they had guys stepping up this last week. I seen Josty making moves out there. He has 35 catches for him. And now he was real shifty against the Seahawks, and I think the Seahawks underestimated his speed. He has game-changing speed when he catches the ball. And then you see players like Eric Desimar making plays, and who was the kid that made that interception? You guys know the kid that made the interception for them to kind of seal the deal at the end of the game? Isaiah is another one who stepped up to play, and that's when you find out where your true ballers are at, is when the game counts, when the money's on the line, who makes these plays.
That's called heart.
Right. And they made them. And, you guys already talked about the coaching and stuff like that. But one thing you cannot deny is since the Panthers have made that switch at quarterback, they've been a different team. You can argue against the talent that they've played, but whoever they played against, they have won. And they've been close games, to where you can, to see where Brian's heart is. I know Randall was a quarterback who struggled under pressure. Berto was a quarterback who struggled under pressure. Brian seems to be finally the quarterback he's cold-hearted. The pressure does not get to him. Whether
he is fearless with the ball.
He'll
go down the field. He'll drop it down.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point when you brought up the two great quarterbacks that we had, Randall and Berto, and both of them in the playoffs. I remember Berto almost throwing up at home.
He was in tears.
He didn't want to come. We had to coax him to come to the game.
Right.
Randall, he was crying before the game because he just didn't want to throw interceptions. And Brian's just been sitting back and he's been saying, hey, just tell me what place to play.
Right, and then when you think about it, the Cardinals came all the way back to tie the game, and you figured at that point with all that momentum, there's no way Brian was going to take him down the field. At least that's what I was thinking.
Best drive of the year.
And he takes him down the field in what? 2 plays or what?
It was 4 plays. Four plays.
It was short amount of time, less than a minute, and scored the touchdown to win the game. I mean, you can't sleep on the guy. I mean, he's just making plays, and I think it's gonna be a close game. And now you're starting to see their playmakers show up. You see, you got Miles and you got Josh. Oh, and Jacob. Jacob was another one who kind of gave him that momentum. With that, I don't know if he scored your first touchdown of the game or what.
First one.
But he also had, I think, another clutch first down. Absolutely. And he's a guy not many people know about, but if Brian has faith in all his receivers because he doesn't care who it is. He's throwing it to him, and he throws a very catchable ball, unlike I think Randall. Before. He doesn't have the same arm strength as Randall, but he throws a very
nice touch.
Catchable. Yeah, nice touch.
And Brian likes the guys that come off the bench.
Yeah,
they have touchdowns.
Yeah.
He'll
hit everybody.
Right to them.
And he knows how to play the game too with the center. Who's the center over there on the?
We have two
rotation guys.
Yeah, we have Justin and Brandon.
And they both been playing well too. I mean, so this is going to come down to I think defensively who can make the stops. And I think that the Raiders. I think that coaching staff has got a ton of experience, but I'm not sold on their receivers, man. I'm going Panthers, man. I'm going Panthers in this game. I think it'll be a close game. I think it's going to be 30-31 Panthers. They sneak it out. I don't know how they do it. I think
great games
we're going to see if Andrew can deal with the pressure because a lot of the game, I think, with the Seahawks, he was up, right? Or the Seahawks were playing from behind. So we're going to see if he can play from behind because I think the Panthers will definitely go down to the score.
I think they need to give that guy the ball more, man.
Oh, Kyrie.
Sometimes he just sits on an island out there and he's open. It's just they don't get the ball to him. You see he has 7 touchdowns because when they do get it to him, he's electrifying. Man.
So, Alex, are you saying that is your game changer player of the game?
Yes. What's his name? I can't see his
Kyrie.
name.
Kyrie Hopkins.
Kyrie Hopkins Bay. Yeah.
Kyrie will be my
Percy.
impact player.
What sideline is Percy standing on? That's the
I think he might be a Raider guy. I don't know.
We'll see.
Well, you know what? You say that, but he was at our church Sunday.
There it is.
Percy and the blessing.
Buddy, who do you have?
I got my guy's gonna be Rodney. I think Rodney has the speed.
I'm thinking the same thing.
I think Rodney has the speed to change the game, and I think they've been finding a way to give him the ball, and he could take a little screen pass and take it to the crib.
He can take it to the house.
Yeah.
But my reason for taking Rodney as a game changer is that his play on defense. Here is where he's going to be tested.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be going up against one of the toughest quarterbacks with one of the strongest arms in the league. And here is where Rodney's going to be tested as safety. He's going to have to really be a ball hawk in this game.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How do you guys feel about the pressure going against Andrew, your killer here. How do you guys feel that he's going to do? I think that's going to be a big, important part.
One of the things I think Saeed's going to have to do is he's going to have to put a lot of pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to. If he doesn't put any pressure on him, this guy can pick anybody apart.
Right, and he has the height to kind of make a difference coming down the middle.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Well, hey, that's going to do it for this week of the playoff edition, plus Hall of Fame and alumni game. Be sure that you're there for the Hall of Fame alumni game. There's going to be some old heads out there trying to break ankles.
Right, and if you're trying to get into the alumni game or the Hall of Fame game, just contact me, and I will make sure that you guys are on the team. So contact me through any means necessary.
Randall, Bertle's calling you out. He's saying Bertle versus Randall. He thinks he got you.
Coast Nation, baby.